I think he has shown us one thing, that the word abstruse is in itself abstruse and very difficult to use in a sentence.
This is true.
Because you were somewhere between abstruse and obtruse, or obtuse. You said obtruse, I believe is the word you used.
That's probably true.
Jim also mentioned a word called playbook. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the term playbook, but undoubtedly you're all familiar with the term script.
Yes.
And normally when you think of an MC, you think of some event, and you hear of somebody who goes off on a tangent that they've gone off script. Well, even in the business world, we use that term quite a bit, or we used to use the term script. Playbook is now the term that's most commonly used. And it is actually a technical term within some IT software. It is also a more generic term for anything that happens anywhere. When it comes to security situations, playbook is a very common term. You have a playbook for this scenario. You have a playbook for this situation. So for those of you in the business world, it's one of those jargon or keyword things that would be good to know and use, or if somebody mentions, you can now get a little bit further up to speed if you're used to hearing the word script. Jim's speech also at the beginning was and really at the end too, was talking about opportunities. The opportunity to do public speaking outside of what we normally consider our public speaking environment. I am looking for opportunities. My last day is coming up fairly quickly, March 22nd. So I have 10 working days counting today, so maybe 9.5 working days with the company. Now I'll still be involved in Toastmasters. I don't plan on looking for a new job, or at least starting a new job until say June. So I will not have any scheduling conflicts when it comes to that. But I am going to be putting feelers out there. What am I gonna be wanting to do? So if anybody is aware of anything, please feel free to let me know. Obviously, I'm probably gonna stay in the IT field. Training is really the type of thing I would really, really like to do, but I know that's maybe a niche within my field on what to do, definitely security. And at the same time, let me throw something out there to all of you, because I thought this was very interesting. My wife is a store manager for Michael's Arts and Crafts.
Ooh.
Now, this is somewhat of a sales pitch. This is somewhat of a commentary or an editorial, perhaps. They just had this team meeting with all their managers in their district, which is basically the Tampa Bay area north of Sarasota. They are encouraging their store managers to suggest people who would make good store managers for Michael's Arts and Crafts, because they feel their bench is rather empty for aspiring candidates to those positions. That being said, Michael's did that to themselves, because they at one time had talked about doing away with salaried assistant manager jobs and just having a bunch of hourly managers. They do a very poor job of trying to develop and promote their employees, because if you've ever gone into a Michael's, it's really hard to find somebody who works there unless they're on register or they're back in framing, because they've cut all the stores to the bone. Now, that being said, salary management positions at any company are usually fairly lucrative. You know you've got benefits, you know you've got decent pay. You also know you probably have a fair amount of extra hours. But I thought it was very interesting that they were looking to their employees, especially their management staff, to then go outside the company to look for potential candidates. And I don't think I've seen a situation like that before. Rather than telling them, really take a hard look at your employees and figure out which ones you think have the growth potential. Because if you go into a Michael's, you'll undoubtedly see a lot of college age, not necessarily the high school age, but definitely college age employees, because it's a good part-time job. If you're going to college, flexible schedule, things like that. So they're actually looking beyond that now. Not that it's going to affect my career search. I have no desire to go into Michael's, and if my wife submits my name, I will be highly disappointed. But based on time,